all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning and thanks for listening in. This is the daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 27th of March and day 3 of the lockdown. The government has said that it is noticing a stabilization in the rate of new infections across the country as total cases of COVID-19 rose to 649. In a press conference yesterday, Joint Health Secretary Love Agarwal said that while there is a general decline in the number of new cases detected, this is not the time yet to be relaxed about the situation. He further said that India was in the local transmission stage and that the ministry would notify if it found traces of a community transfer. Meanwhile, China announced it will block almost all foreigners from entering the country starting tomorrow, a recognition that most new coronavirus cases were coming from overseas now that the government slowed the spread of the disease among its own people. China's foreign ministry called it a necessary but temporary step and said that foreigners won't be allowed to enter even with valid visas and work permits. The decision comes as the US surpassed Italy in cases with more than 80,700 and is poised now to overtake even China as having the most infections in the world. Italian health officials meanwhile reported 6,153 new cases yesterday, the most in 5 days, bringing the country's total to 80,539. Leaders from the Group of 20 nations yesterday said they were injecting over $5 trillion into the global economy and committed to do whatever it takes to overcome the coronavirus pandemic and its fallout. The gathering, which was held virtually and was chaired by Saudi Arabia, was joined by leaders from member countries and included representatives of international organizations such as the United Nations. In global markets, a rally in equities looks set to accelerate in Asia. The S&P 500 rose more than 6% overnight after the US Senate passed a $2 trillion fiscal package. Equity benchmarks climbed at least 3% in Tokyo and Seoul and about 2% in Sydney, while US futures saw more modest gains. The MSCI All-Country World Index is on course now for a 13% rise this week. But a source of worry remains the US jobless claims, which surged to a record 3.28 million last week as businesses shut down to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. 2 weeks earlier, before the closure of businesses swept across the country, the number stood at 211,000, close to a half-century low. While the reading exceeded estimates, US government aid may help to cushion the impact on workers and businesses. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell also sought to assure the public that the central bank wouldn't run out of ammunition to fight the crisis. Back home in corporate news, Yes Bank has approved a plan to raise an additional 5,000 crore rupees, less than a month after the lender received 10,000 crore rupees from a consortium of lenders led by State Bank of India in a rescue plan that was prepared by the Reserve Bank of India. Now, you've probably already taken note of the announcements that Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman made during the press conference that she held yesterday afternoon, and everything to do with the 1.7 lakh crore relief that is being provided. But a lot of economists are saying that that relief isn't going to be enough. Look up the story on the website to find out what they're saying. And with that, it's over to Agam Vakil for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Agam. How are we looking at the end of the week?
Good morning, Alex, and good morning, listeners. Well, we are poised to start with some strength considering the SGX Nifty is indicating an up move of around 350 points. And should we end today's day of trade in the green as well, it will have been the fourth straight gain coming in for the benchmark indices. Moving on to stocks, we have Yes Bank, which looks to raise another 5,000 crores in one or more tranches. Remember, the bank has already raised 10,000 crores from domestic lenders led by State Bank of India in March. L&T Infotech's arm Syncordis bags a new deal for digital banking services from Standard Chartered Bank. And Maharashtra Seamless has acquired an offshore drilling rig from the company's Singapore associate, Star Drilling, for about $100 million. The concerned rig is currently operating under contract with ONGC. NTPC has executed share purchase agreement to acquire 100% stake in NEEPCO from the government, 4,000 crores. The acquisition is expected to be completed on or before March 31st. There's some interesting bulk deals too, and we have Indiabulls Housing Finance, where the promoter Samir Gehlot has acquired a 0.5% stake at 96.5 rupees per share, and Goldman Sachs, on the other hand, has sold about 0.5% stake in Just Dial for 281 rupees per share. And in some key meetings that we are tracking, we have the management of Mahindra Logistics, which will meet Ashmore Investments today, and InfoEdge will meet the team of CLSA on March 30th. Now, these are just some of the stocks that we can watch out for as we move into trade. But don't forget to go through our morning edition of All You Need to Know only on BloombergQuint.com.
Thanks, Agam. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great weekend and do stay safe.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.